Okay. Good morning, beloveds. I am awake, but I'm not firing on all cylinders this morning. Yesterday was a very busy day. But it was a good day. So, we got good news, and that's a good thing. And, we just are, doing the best we can. Yeah. So, but hang on. I don't know where my brain just went, and that's okay. We're doing your spiritual power. So let's do the housekeeping. And all the housekeeping is me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. The website is creativelife.org. The constant contact email, info@creativelife.org. You will email that. That will get you on a list. You get 1 email a week unless something unusual happens. And I will point out we do live in hurricane country. So that would be the only reason. It's a real person doing it. He just doesn't have time for more than that. And it tells the email tells you what's going on for the week and the month, and the hot links are hot. So it says click here now. It means it. It will take you either right to the information or the person that can help you get it. And the last thing is the social media. And I only mentioned the social media simply because we do not monetize it. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead, like, subscribe, follow, based on which platform you are on. Some of them you can do more than one thing. So, please do both. And then engage with the individual posts. So like react to the posts. React to the posts. You can like them, you can love them, you can laugh at them, you can wow them. If you want to use the cry and the angry, you can, but from what I understand, they kind of limit access or limit, I don't know. It's just what I've heard. So, but, and then, comment on them and share them. We think we have good tools to share. We hope you agree with us. Okay. I guess I should tell you what they are. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark. And, I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. So there's that. And because if you ever wondered where these go after Facebook deletes them, I have a YouTube channel, the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel. That is where all of these are archived. I don't want to clutter up the Creative Life one, so that I put them on my own channel, and that's where you can go get them. So, because I've got multiple books on there now because, I read the textbook. I read the Living the Science of Mind. I started with 365 books. So I've done 3 of those. I also did this thing called You because it's absolutely my favorite Ernest Holmes book, because, and I found out there wasn't an audio copy of it. And I'm like, well, that's just wrong. Let's get an audio copy of it. And then with, your spiritual power, what this is a collection of some of his rarer works, some of the booklets and the pamphlets that you may not find anywhere else. Somebody pulled them together and put them in, because I've never heard of Pray and Prosper. What Religious Science Teaches, I have a couple of copies of that, but that was interesting from the standpoint of he dug into, the principles. He showed his work. And Pray and Prosper, it's kind of the same thing. It's that's how Science of Mind got started, is Ernest went, Jesus has this really neat way of praying, really effective way of praying. Let's do that. Let's teach people how to do that. And then people didn't go home. So here we are. So that's what we're doing now. We're doing Pray and Prosper, where he's just talking about his ideas about prayer. And he's got some pretty specific one, including prayers are not petitions. Prayers are about bringing you into alignment. Prayers are not about changing God. They're about changing you. They are about changing the prayer, bringing you into alignment with whatever it is that you are praying about, whatever it is that you want. And he has reminded us over and over and over again what Jesus said, whatsoever you desire. Ask for it. And that's the really interesting thing. And I do remind people of this. If you don't ask, the answer is no. The answer is always no. If you do ask, the answer still might be no, but it also could be yes. But if you don't ask, it's always no. So, ask. And then if you're told no, then say why. What is it about my request that, you're saying no? Maybe you are not the person to fulfill it. Maybe it's not the right time, or maybe there are other things that you still need to do before the answer can be yes. It's like, I'm just a big believer in ask. Because if you don't, the answer is always no. So, all right. So if you're following along in the book, we are on page 166, and we are going to start with prayer removes tension. And I've been doing about 3 of these a day because they're kind of short. And we'll go from there because they're short, but they're rich. And I don't want to give myself too much to think about for the whole day. So there we are. Okay. Prayer removes tension. Spiritual communion is relaxing. There is neither stress nor strain in it. All the yesterdays of fear and failure are dropped from consciousness. Today, everything is filled with peace and joy. Jesus said, "My yoke is easy and my burden is light." The Spirit has no burden, creates none, and enters into none. As Emerson said, it is the finite alone that has wrought and suffered. The infinite lies stretched in smiling repose. Spiritual communion is letting go of all negation, a reaching out and up towards freedom, wholeness, and happiness. It is a calm, inward sense of reality. There is no struggle, no tension, only peace. Since we are dealing with a power which can easily accomplish our desired good and give to us more abundantly even than we are able to receive, there should be no sense of compulsion, rather a relaxed yet attentive and active acceptance. All anxiety is dropped by the wayside. Okay, I really like that. Not that last line. Well, yeah, that one's fine too. But rather a relaxed yet attentive and an active acceptance. A relaxed. Really, honestly, and I was raised Catholic. Prayers should be relaxing. They should be comforting, and I shouldn't be shitting on us, but here we are. The idea of a prayer is to, I guess, I would say to bring us a sense of comfort. Because anytime I'm treating for somebody with a health challenge, that's exactly how I feel when I'm done. I feel a sense of comfort because I feel like I have turned it over to something that can do something about it. So, which that was the one yesterday, or no, it was 2 days ago, shifting the burden. That's exactly, how I feel it. I feel when I pray, I feel comforted. So, okay. Over anxiety is one of the most negative states of mind we can experience. Oh, he is not. Yes. Mm-hmm. It is a complete denial of the divine beneficence, a feeling that the entire burden of life rests upon our shoulders. Spiritual communion relieves this tension, automatically straightens out the consciousness. Through recognition, acknowledgement, and receptivity, it readjusts the psychic stream of life. It frees up the pent-up emotions and causes them to become sublimated or transformed into the energy of light, of power, and of self-expression. Jesus tells us to take no anxious thought for the morrow. All of our tomorrows are still unborn. Every day should view a new creation, a world more blessed than yesterday. Anxiousness and anxiety arise from a sense of uncertainty of the future. Well, that is true. I forget who it is that said depression is living in the past and anxiety is living in the future. It could be Lao Tzu, it could be Confucius, or it could have been one of the psychologists. And I just don't remember right now. Okay, so anxiousness and anxiety arise from the sense of uncertainty of the future, not from the frustrations of the past. We are to take no anxious thought for tomorrow. This does not mean we are to act in an irresponsible or chaotic manner. It merely means that we are to live this day in calm confidence of the future. All of our memories of the past will be healed, and all of the pent-up energies of unexpressed desires will flow out from us in joyful expression if our communion with nature and with the spirit becomes complete. This is why quiet and secluded spots tend to rest us. But the only quiet and secluded spot in all of the universe is at the center of our own being, where pure spirit reigns supreme. Where pure spirit reigns supreme. All right, we're going to move on to prayer converts substance into action and supply. If we would pray and prosper, we should realize that we are surrounded by a spiritual substance, which is forever taking the form of supply. Wherever we look, we should see right action. Spiritual communion enables us to do this. It lifts our thoughts above the solid fact of the situation or circumstance. Now that, okay. Sometimes Ernest just has this really amazing turn of phrase, and that was a really good one. Okay, prayer lifts our thought above the solid fact of a situation or circumstance. Okay, that's a really good one. Because he says, judge not by appearances. So when we're praying, that's exactly what we're doing. We're getting above the experience that we are having. The one thing we never want to do is deny the experience somebody is having. We don't want to deny that. We want to acknowledge, yes, you are having an experience, but that is not the truth of you. So prayer lifts our thought above the solid fact of a situation or circumstance. That's really incredible. Okay. It resolves the fact into a fluid and remolds it into a new form, straightening out the lines of our energy into harmonious currents of self-expression. That is mind-blowing. I love the way he phrases that. There is but one final essence, which is pure spirit. The act of prayer in communion lifts the consciousness into a perception of this essence flowing out into action. At the center of everything, there is something which never moves, and yet all movement takes place within it. There is something which itself is not caused, from which all effect flows. Therefore, essence is both cause and effect. It is the actor, act, and action. Everything moves in circles, and when we silently contemplate the invisible, essence moving in our affairs, we shall discover that our thought comes back to us laden with the fruit of our expectation. Some of the ancients spoke of karmic law, or what today we call the law of cause and effect, as a result of the fruits of our action. If we would have these fruits abundant, we must think of the essence as forever passing into form, forever flowing around us, pressing against us, flowing out into everything we do, flowing into health, happiness, and prosperity. Okay. When I learned about karma, the phrase is karma's a bitch. Okay, except for the fact that that's not the truth. Because most of the time when people were using that phrase, they were saying, oh, well, you've done all this bad stuff and it's going to get you. Karma's not that. Not all that. Okay. Yes, whatever you have been doing is going to come back and get you. So if you've been doing good, the karma will bring you more good. If you have been doing bad, karma is going to bring you bad. Eventually, we all pay the price of whatever it is we've been up to. Which is why I like to say, if you don't like the way your life looks, let's look at what you've been thinking about. Let's look at the trend of your thoughts. Individual weeds are not the problem, although you do want to weed them. So individual thoughts are not the problem. It's the trend of your thoughts. So, you see one, you go, okay, well, let me take care of that. You start to see a lot of them. It's like, okay, well, let's go back to the source of this. Where are all of these weeds coming from? Okay. All right. We're going to do one more. We're going to do prayer in action. And then we're going to pause for the day. Prayer in action. Evelyn Underhill tells us that our lives should swing between prayer, meditation, and action. We used to pray. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Oh yeah, I know that one. Every child has thought that one. Someone has suggested that we add to this beautiful evening prayer one for the new day. Now I get me up to work. I pray the Lord I shall not shirk. If I should die before the night, I pray the Lord my work's done right. Well, that's interesting. It is not intended that we should spend all of our time in inaction. For the very law of our being is mind acting. An active thought will always find itself surrounded with intelligent, objective activities. The passing of human events is no mere illusion. It is a logical and legitimate activity of mind finding fulfillment. It is the action of a jubilant and beholding soul, proclaiming God's works to be good. Every act should become a prayer, as Brother Lawrence so beautifully expressed in his life, which was the conscious practicing of the divine presence. If God is in all events, then we should go forth gladly to meet them. Not only in the stillness of the evening or in the quiet of midnight, but also in the rising tide of human endeavor, when the spiritual sun climbs high, flooding the earth with its effulgent glory, is the presence of God revealed. Okay, that last one was weird, but that's okay. But I do like the one line that I'm going to walk away with is every act should become a prayer. Okay? Every act should become a prayer. Because we are taught, pray without ceasing. Oh. Pray without ceasing. What does pray without ceasing mean? Well, what I have learned, come to understand that pray without ceasing means is that every thought has the potential to be creative. Is every thought creative? No. If every thought was creative, the world would be a messy place. But every thought could be creative. And the thoughts that we wrap a lot of emotion around are creative, which is one of the reasons why it's super important to be aware of what thoughts we are wrapping in what emotions. Anger is an extremely powerful emotion, and it can be very useful. If you are not happy with the way things are going, anger can give you the energy to make a change. But if you are angry all the time and your life is messy, what thoughts are you wrapping that anger around? And it's possible that the thoughts that you are wrapping that anger around, that power around, are not constructive. They are, in fact, destructive. And I'm not saying destruction is bad, because frequently we have to take things apart to put them so that they can fall back together better, But that's it. So what was it that he said? And now I have to put my glasses back on because I was like, wait, what? Every act should become a prayer. Every act should become a prayer, because every prayer will become an action. That is the idea behind prayer. Prayer is, as he said, we are not meant to be inactive. We are meant to be active. The only thing that God wants from us is self-expression. The only thing that the divine wants, if we could be said to have a purpose, it's to express. How we do it, well, that's our gift. That is our gift to the divine. How we express the divine, that is our gift back to the divine. the ability to express is the divine's gift to us. So every act could become a prayer. Every prayer should become an act. So there we are. All right, I'm going to move on into the process of my day, which means I have to go remember to close the windows. The cats have enjoyed the windows, and it's finally cool enough that we can open the windows and leave them open for a bit of the morning, and they're thoroughly enjoying that. But, I got to do that. I got to remember to close them. So I'm going to encourage, because it's still going to get, well, no, they said it's only going to be 86 today. So but by this Saturday, it's going to be 90 again. So it's like, can fall just get here, please? I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. A let's start wrapping this week up day. I cannot believe it is Thursday day. A do what you got to do day. A take care of yourself day. A do something for somebody else day. Always makes you feel good to, do an act of volunteer. A cuddle your fur babies day. A tell somebody you love them day. A look in the mirror and see the divine looking back at you day. A prayer day, which can be every day, if that is your regular spiritual practice day. Apparently it's time to stop day. And that's a good thing day. A drink plenty of water day. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, because occasionally it is, I get it, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a spirit in motion, God in action, a brilliant light, a divine spark, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. That's my favorite part of the sentence. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be. The divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything is possible. Anything at all. All right. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9-ish tomorrow. And like I said, we will start with, we're going to pick up with joy and enthusiasm. So I look forward to that. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.